Krishna. We welcome you all again in this session on Bhagavad-gita 108 shlokarecitation course. Today is our third day and we are going to do a very, very important verse today. We'll be singing a short prayer. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This verse is actually the first instruction given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. And that's why this verse is very important. He chastises Arjuna because now Arjuna has accepted to become a disciple or student of Krishna. So Krishna takes on the role of guru, a teacher, and he instructs Arjuna. He gives a very important instruction which will help Arjuna to become a good student. And if all of us also want to be a good student, we must know this verse and the message in this verse that is given by Lord Krishna. Okay, so this is the third verse in our series, chapter 2, verse number 11. We'll be just reading the Sanskrit now. Please hear attentively. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashochyan anvashocas tvam pragya badams cha bhashase gatasun agatasuncha nanu shochanti panditaha. Going to the translation, the meaning. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So you can see the verse is shorter, the chanda or meter is Anushtup chanda, and the translation is also relatively simpler to memorize compared to 2.7. We'll do the practice now, the recitation practice. Each line 3 times, then 2 lines 3 times, then entire verse 3 times. Shri Bhagavana Uvacha. Shri Bhagavana Uvacha. Shri Bhagavana Uvacha. Ashochyan anvashocas tvam. Ashochyan anvashocas tvam. Ashochyan anvashocas tvam. Pragyavadangscha bhashase. Pragyavadangscha bhashase. Pragyavadangscha bhashase. Gatasun agatasuncha. Gatasun agatasuncha. Gatasun agatasuncha. Nanu shochanti pandita. Nanu shochanti panditaha. Nanu shochanti panditaha. Okay. Now we did each line at 3 times. Now let's do 2 lines together. Ashochyan anvashocas tvam pragyavadangscha bhashase. Ashochyan anvashocas tvam pragyavadangscha bhashase. Ashochyan anvashocas tvam pragyavadangscha bhashase. Last 2 lines. Gatasuna gatasumscha nanu shochanti panditaha. Gatasun agatasumscha nanu shochanti panditaha. gatasun agatasungscha nanushocanti panditaha. Okay, we'll do the entire verse now, 3 times. Shri Bhagavana Uvacha ashochayananvashocastvam pragyavadangscha bhashase gatasun agatasungscha nanu shochanti panditaha. Shri Bhagavana Uvacha ashochayananvashocastvam pragyavadangscha bhashase gatasun agatasungscha nanu shochanti panditaha. Last time. Shri Bhagavana Uvacha ashochayananvashocastvam pragyavadangscha bhashase gatasun agatasungscha nanu shochanti panditaha. Fine. Now let's go to the meaning of each word, which will make it very easy to understand the verse and also to memorize it. I'm actually so amazed that even small kids of age 6, 7, 8 are able to memorize these verses by the help of these videos. Today I got a message from someone in Malaysia and she was telling her 8-year-old daughter memorized the verse 2.7. That's amazing. So let's look at the word meaning now. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So now you must be quite familiar with the word Uvacha. Uvacha means said. Who said? Shri Bhagavan said. Shri Bhagavan means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And who is that? Shri Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. He said, Shri Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord Krishna said. What did he say? What did he say? So the first word he says is ashochyan. Ashochyan. There is a word called shoka. Shoka means to lament. And from that we get this word ashochyan. Ashochyan means not worthy of lamentation, which is not worthy of lamentation, which we should not lament for. Next is anvashocas tvam. Anvashochas. But you are lamenting. Krishna is saying, you are lamenting. Though it's unworthy of lamentation, you are lamenting. So this is chapter 2, shloka number 11. Tvam, you. Tvam means you. Now you already know. Tvam means you. Mang means me. Tvam means you. So ashochayan anvashochas tvam. Krishna is telling to Arjuna, you are lamenting for something which is unworthy of lamentation. And at the same time, what you are doing? In the next line, he says, Pragyavadams. Pragya means very intelligent. Like there is Gyan, there is Vigyan, there is Pragyan. Pragyan means lot of realized knowledge. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you're talking like a very learned person. Pragya Vadangscha, Vadans. You're talking like a very, very learned person. And still you are lamenting. It's contradiction. Cha means either it can be and or it can be also. So here it means also. Bhashase means speaking. Bhashase, bhasha. Bhasha means language. Bhashase means speaking. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are talking like a learned person. You are talking very nicely, though you are lamenting. So he's now telling in the next line what one should not lament for and what Arjuna was lamenting for. Gatasun. Gatasun, it's a very technical Sanskrit word. We'll not go deep into the meaning. But Gatasun means it has two parts. Gata, asun. Gata means to go. Asun means life, air, or prana, or life. So Gatasun means from whom the life has gone, one who has lost life. And agatasuns would mean the opposite when you put the letter A in front of any word in Sanskrit, it changes the meaning, it makes it opposite. So agatasung means just the opposite, from which the life has not gone. Agatasung, not past life. Cha, again cha would mean also. So Krishna is telling that for the living and also the dead. Gatasun, agatasung cha, nanu shochanti. Anushochanti means to lament. Na, when you add na to something, it makes it opposite. So nanu shochanti means never lament. Who never laments? Panditaha, one who is a learned person. The learned never lament. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Arjuna, you are lamenting for something which is unworthy of lamentation, and at the same time, you're talking like a big Pandit, very, very learned person. You are giving so many arguments why you don't want to fight. But you should know one thing, that someone who is really a Pandit, a learned person, he never laments for the living or the dead. He never laments. So you should not lament. That's the instruction given by Krishna. At the same time, Krishna is indirectly chastising Arjuna. You are talking like a Pandit, but you are not a Pandit. You are a fool because you are lamenting for material body. You should have the knowledge of the soul. And then Krishna will start giving the knowledge of the soul in the next verse. See, Krishna is such an expert teacher. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this is the meaning. While speaking learned words, while talking like a Pandit, pragyavadangsh cha bhashase, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Ashochyan anvashocas tvam, right? Those who are wise, means panditaha, lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Na anushochanti, for what? Gatasun agatasungscha. Like that, we can see the meaning is very, very clear, very easy. Okay, so now we'll do the exercise of fill in the blanks. And all of you are now very expert at doing it. It's a very simple exercise and all of you can very easily do it. So please raise your hand who would like to answer. Shri Bhagavan, the first word is very simple. Yes, Madan Mohini Mataji, what is it?
Shri Bhagwan Vacha.
Thank you, Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Okay, who will try the next word? Ashochyan. What is the next word? Ashochyan. Jayata Lakshmi Mataji.
Anvashocas.
Anvashocas. Very good. Thank you. Anvashocas. Ashochyan anvashocas. Next, Satya Prabhu.
Tvam.
Ashochyan anvashocas tvam. You are lamenting for what? For something which is not worthy of lamentation. Pragyavadams. Pragyavadams. And then there is a very small word, only 2-letter word. Which is that word? Kasturi Krishna Mataji.
Bhashase.
Cha, very good. And after cha also you said, very nice. Bhashase. Oh, talking like a learned person, very, very intelligent person. Very good. Then the next word in the third line, Bhumika Mataji.
Gatasunna gatasumscha.
Very good. Gatasun, agatasumscha, nanu shochanti. And what is the last word, Roshan Prabhu? Can you hear us, Roshan? No? Okay, Prerna Mataji, what is the next word?
Nanu shochanti panditaha.
Nanu shochanti, not panditaha, panditaha. It's
Panditaha.
panditaha. There is akar at the end. Okay, very nice. Very good. Now let's do a little difficult one where more words are missing. Right? So the first line, who will tell? Satya Prabhu, what is the first line?
Shri Bhagwan Vacha.
Very good. Thank you. That was easy. Bhagwan, Shri Bhagwan said. Ashochayan. Tell the next 2 words. Saurav. Saurav would like to tell. Your hands were raised. Okay, you put it down. Okay. Vinodini Pillai Mataji. Tell what is the entire first line.
ashochyan anvashocas tvam.
Ashochyan anvashocas tvam. Okay, very good. And then next line, full next line, Prerna Mataji. Prerna Mataji, would like to try the next line, full second line?
So sorry, Prabhu, I couldn't remember that line.
Acha, okay. Then who would like to try? Kasturi Krishna?
Prajna. Prajnavadamsta bhashase.
Thank you. It's not prajna, it is pragya. Pragya. Pragya vadamsha bhashase. Okay, it is pronounced as gya, not jna. Huh? I mean, some people do pronounce as jna, and that's okay. But in general, pragya. So pragya vadamsha bhashase. Okay, thank you. Then the third line, S.L. Pandian. Third line. Okay, third line. You don't know the third line? Jayada Lakshmi Mataji, third line.
Agatasum cha.
Gatasun, agatasum sha. Very good. And the last line, Bhumika.
Nanu sochanti panditaha.
Nanu shochanti panditaha. Very good. Okay, now we'll do the entire verse. Someone wants to try the entire verse? Dayarupa Mataji. Yeah, be a little loud. Okay, the first line you said. Fine, thank you. Someone wants to go for the second line? Siddhi. Siddhi wants to try?
Bhagavanuvacha ashochyananvasocastvam
Ram Hare Hare
pragyam vadam cha bhashase gatasumscha na anusochanti panditaha.
Very good. Okay. So Siddhi has memorized the entire verse. Now, please, those of you raise your hands who know the entire verse. Satya Prabhu, you want to try the entire verse?
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha
Ashochyan
ashochyan anvashocas
tvam. Tvam.
tvam
Not tvam.
tvam
Pragyavadanscha
pragyavadamscha
bhashase.
bhashyase
Bhashase.
Sorry, I could not.
Okay, no problem. Someone else would like to try the third and fourth line, Bhumika?
Shri Bhagavanuvacha ashochayan anvasocastvam pragnavadamscha bhashase gatasunagatasumscha nanu sochanti panditaha.
Perfect. Okay. Kasturi Krishna?
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha asochan anvasocastvam pragyavadamsta bhashase gatasun agatasumscha nanu sochanti panditaha.
Very good. Mother and all two children, all are speaking together. Okay, Vinodini Pillai Mataji.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha ashochyan anvashocas tvam pragyavadanscha bhashase gatasun agatasuncha nanu shochanti pandita.
Okay, thank you. And I saw some others also raise their hand, they put it down. We have, is it Anjana or how do you pronounce it? Angasc. Would you like to try? Anjana Mataji, how do you pronounce it? I don't know, I'm sorry. Okay, anyone else would like to try? If not the entire verse, just the first two lines. No? Shall we move on then? Okay, let's move to the next slide. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha ashochyan anvashocas pragyavadanscha bhashase gatasuna gatasumscha nanu shochanti panditaha. The meaning. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. That is Krishna's instruction. Okay. So the lesson here is, Krishna is telling Arjuna not to lament. Why is Krishna telling Arjuna that? When someone laments, basically to lament means to feel sorry for something wrong that has happened in the past, right? So when someone laments, that person's intelligence becomes clouded or covered. And then such a person cannot acquire knowledge. Such a person cannot think properly. Such a person is too much affected by negativity, and that pulls that person down. The spirits of that person are low, and because of that, the enthusiasm to learn, the enthusiasm to know more, the enthusiasm to explore newer things fades away. That's why Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't lament, Arjuna. If you are going to lament like this, you will not be able to understand anything. Now you asked me to tell you what is best for you. I am going to tell you. I am going to instruct you. But for that, first of all, you'll have to come out of this state of mind in which you are lamenting. You are feeling sorry. You are feeling pity over yourself, over the situations in your life, about your life itself. So don't do that. That's a very, very negative energy, and it will not allow you to learn properly. So that's why he's saying, don't lament. Don't lament. It's very, very dangerous. And Krishna gives this instruction in the beginning of Bhagavad-gita, and he also gives this instruction in the end of Bhagavad-gita when he speaks the shloka, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshe Ishyami Ma Shuchaha. Shuchaha means do not lament, Arjuna. So he's saying, don't lament. That's very, very bad for you. So this is a short and simple lesson. This is the keyword we can use to remember this verse, lamentation, or no lamentation, basically. So again, we do one last practice of this verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha ashochyan anvashocas pragyavadanscha bhashase gatasuna gatasumscha nanu shochanti panditaha. All right. Will any one of you now try to tell us the meaning? Just try. It doesn't need that it has to be fully accurate. Just speak the word meaning or the entire meaning in your own words. Who would like to try? The meaning of this verse. It's a very simple meaning. Please raise your hand, whoever is interested in telling the meaning. Yes, Madan Mohini Mataji.
In the shloka, Bhagavan says to Arjuna that he should not laminate on anything just because not of the living and of the dead. This is what Krishna Bhagavan says to Arjuna.
Okay. And then what does he say in the last line? That's what he says in the first line.
That the person who eliminates for the living or for the dead, he is not a pandita. He basically says that you're talking like pandit, but the person who eliminates is not a pandita.
The person who laments is not a pandita. Thank you. Very good. You're quite accurate. Roshan, yes?
Supreme Personality of Godhead says that you are thinking which is not worth thinking, but you are thinking like Bhagyavan. But Pandit should not think about Tasun and Vasun, means life or death. Pandit should not think about that. Pandit should not lament on that.
Thank you. Quite correct. Okay. Kasturi Manj.
Supreme Personality of Godhead say while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. The learned person does not lament for the living nor for the dead.
Perfect. Thank you. There, Rupa Mataji. Yes, there, Rupa Mataji, go ahead. Are you not able to hear my voice?
The Supreme Personality of God has said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning of what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead.
All right, thank you. So in simple language, you can say the meaning is very simple. The Supreme Lord said, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, ashochyan, what is not worthy of lamentation. Sorry, ashochyan, what is not worthy of lamentation. Anvashocas tvam, you are lamenting for that. And at the same time, pragyavadangsha bhashase, you are talking like a learned person. Gatasun agatasun sha, neither for the living nor for the dead. Na anushocanti panditaha, the Pandit does not lament. This is the simple meaning for it. Okay, so now let's revise all the 3 verses which we have done till now. Wow, we have done 3 verses. 1.1. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta Mamakah Pandavasyaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. 2.7. Karpanya dosho pahatas subhava prichamitam dharma samudha cheta yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. And we did today the 3rd one. Ashochyan anvashocastvam pragyavadangsha bhashase gatasun agatasunshcha nanu shochanti panditaha. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Now let's meet on Monday, coming Monday, when we'll be memorizing the 4th verse.